All right, hello everyone, it's silverkyle, and today we're going to be going over all the video games that I'm looking forward to in quarter one of 2023, so the first 3 months of the year. And there's quite a few games here, surprisingly. This, to me, almost looks like you could have this for the fall season, which is when all the big games come out, in terms of my taste. I'm just really happy. There's at least 5 games per month. I'm excited. So we're going to go over the things that I know I'm going to be getting day one, as well as what I'm interested in for maybe down the line if there's a price drop, or some games that I might wait for an actual review as well. So let's start this off with January, starting off with 2 games on the same day, Persona 3 and Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden, coming out on pretty much all the modern consoles on January 19th digitally. Now, I do wish that we were getting physical copies of these. Obviously, that's generally how I roll. And the other thing too is that when a series starts on a specific console, like a specific branded console like Sony or Nintendo or Microsoft, I generally like to continue playing that series on the latest console from that brand. Now, the problem is that Persona came out on PlayStation, but these 2 Persona games are coming out to Game Pass on Xbox day one. And honestly, I think that I would like to play RPGs, specifically Persona, would work really well on a handheld on the Switch. So I have no idea what I'm going to be playing this on. Most likely Game Pass, which just to me feels so wrong. I feel RPGs on the Xbox just doesn't exactly work unless it's a Western RPG. Then I'm totally in for that. But JRPGs just don't seem to really feel right on an Xbox console. But I can get them for free day one, so that's probably where I'll start it. And then if we get a physical release down the road, maybe that's when I'll dive in and get them on the Switch or the PlayStation. I don't know yet. Next up, we have probably one of my top 3 games that I'm really looking forward to in 2023, and that is Fire Emblem Engage. Now, that comes out on January 20th for the Switch. I have a pre-order for the standard edition, but I'm hoping that there's some cancellations for the collector's edition or limited edition or whatever the heck, the deluxe edition that they have for this, because I would really like that. And I knew when it was coming out, I saw, okay, it's live, I should probably pre-order, and I didn't. And then I missed my chance, and it was like the day after, and it was gone. And I messed up bad, because I would really like that edition of it. But in the least, I'll have the standard edition, and I am very much looking forward to that game. Next up is Forspoken, coming out on January 24th for PlayStation 5. The gameplay for this game has me interested. The only thing is that I think I'm going to wait for reviews, and even then, even if they say and shout to the world that this is the best game ever, I think I would still wait for a price drop for this game. But I am going to be waiting to see if there's some positive reviews for this. Next up is Disgaea 7, also coming out on January 24th, and that is coming out for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. I've never gotten into the Disgaea games, and I really want to get into them. Quirky strategy RPGs. I'm down for that. There's like strategy RPGs, I don't know, turn-based or strategy RPGs, either way, because I mean they're very similar. But strategy RPGs might just be my favorite. I don't know. Either way, very much I should get into the series. I just thought then I'll probably want to start in the first game, and then to know that I'll have like 7 games to play in this series is quite a commitment, and the motivation might not necessarily be there. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm definitely gonna have to wait for this, but I am looking forward to that game. Next up is Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life, coming out on January 26th for the Nintendo Switch. It might actually be coming out for the other consoles as well. I know that I want it for the Switch. And so Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life actually came out on GameCube like 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. I think it was 2004, so 19 years ago now, for the GameCube, called Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. And now, because of the creators of those games have the rights to those games, just not the name of Harvest Moon, we're getting this remake, and I'm really looking forward to this, because I have played that game, I just never beat it. So this is definitely going to be my opportunity. So that is definitely going to be a day one. I just don't know if I'll exactly play it on that time, because I'll have just started Fire Emblem Engage by that point, and I have a slew of a bunch of other games from my backlog that I really want to get into during pretty much the entire year. I've got 10 games in a series for 2023. So every month I have to play a game in this series. It's going to be insane. I am looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it either. Next up, So that's all of January. Now we're going to go to February. So we're starting off with Hogwarts Legacy coming out on February 10th for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I'm looking forward to this. Harry Potter is some of my favorite books of all time. I absolutely love that world. The movies to me are okay, but the books are phenomenal, and I've reread some of them like numerous times. And this looks like the first game that you can actually be a student where it actually feels like you're at Hogwarts. Because the other games that we've had just never really did it justice. So this is something that I've been looking at. I just think I'm going to wait for a price drop for it because I don't know how good it's going to be. It also takes place like 100 or 200 years before the events of Harry Potter. So that's kind of cool as well. Although I think I would have preferred it more in modern times like Harry Potter is. But either way, I am looking forward to that game. Then we have Tales of Symphonia Remastered coming out on February 17th for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. So this one's weird because I don't think it's coming out to the modern consoles. And another really weird and crappy part of this is that I think that Tales of Symphonia, the original on the GameCube, ran at 60 frames per second. But this remaster, which is the second time that they're remastering it because they had an HD port of it on PlayStation 3, and I think that one had this issue as well, is that they're locking it at 30 frames per second. If the original ran at 60, I think that's what I've heard. Why are we getting the remaster to not even do that? That makes no sense to me. If you're remastering something, you're making it better, and the original is doing it better than this one. So that's kind of unfortunate. But I've never played the Symphonia game. I don't actually own a copy of Tales of Symphonia, whether it be the original, which has gone up quite a bit in price, and same thing for the PlayStation 3 version of it. So I think I will pick this game up because I really do like the Tales games and I would want to play this, but that's just kind of unfortunate that I would be arguably playing the lesser version. Anyway, Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp coming out on February 23rd. Finally, this game is getting released on the Nintendo Switch. This is a game that I am looking forward to. I just don't think that I'll be picking up day one at this point in time because I'm going to be busy with so many other things. But that is definitely something that I would like to get into because I've never played any of the Advanced Wars, and it looks really fun to me. Then we have Atelier Ryza 3 coming out on February 24th for the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Kind of cool that we're getting a PS5 release for this game. I have the first Atelier Ryza on the PlayStation 4. Haven't tried it yet. I have not gotten into Atelier. I think it's Atelier. I've never gotten into that series, and this to me seems the right way to go. Play the first one and then play the sequels. I don't think I'll be picking up day one, but I would like to pick it up relatively soon. If there's one price drop for that game, I'm definitely going to get it at that point in time because these games sometimes are harder to find down the road, so that I am weary of. Then we have Octopath Traveler 2 coming out on February 24th for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. I got to beat the first one. I have played it, and I do like it, but I definitely need to beat that first one before I dive into the sequel, even though it's entirely possible that maybe I don't have to because the storylines might not follow, but that's just the way that my mind works. So this won't be a day one, I don't think, but I am very much looking forward to it. And now, so that's 5 games for February, and now we have another 5 for March. Rune Factory 3 Special comes out on March 2nd for the Nintendo Switch. Definitely going to be picking that game up. I do have the Rune Factory 4 Special and Rune Factory 5 Special as well, so those are kind of like just and I got the limited editions or whatever. It's like the gigantic box. I don't know where they are at the moment, but I do have them somewhere. So I'm definitely going to be picking that up day one. It's essentially Harvest Moon Story Seasons or Stardew Valley. It's more like Stardew Valley because it's a farming simulator with battling. So I'm definitely going to be picking that up. Next up, we have The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure on March 14th coming out for the Switch and PlayStation 4. This is the series that I'm talking about. I want to go back and play the Trails in the Sky series starting in January. And then by the time that March hits, I'll be done the third one. Then the next month after that, I'm going to finish up Trails from Zero, which I do have on PlayStation 4 that I have started that I really like. I'm about 10 hours into that game. Then in April, Then in May, I'll hopefully play Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure. Then I have to play the 4 Cold Steel games. And then later on, I think in July, Legends of Reverie is coming out. So there's like So many games in the Trails series. I don't think I'm going to get that far, but hopefully I beat at least half of those games this year. And I will be picking that up day one. Then we also have Star Wars Jedi Survivor coming out on March 17th, coming out for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I definitely will be picking that up day one. I have to beat the first one. My goal is to beat the first one in February, and then I have a novel that's coming out that kind of bridges those two games together, and then I'm going to play the sequel. But I am very much looking forward to that game. I don't know why it took me so long to finally beat or start Star Wars Jedi, the first one. Fallen Order, I think is what it's called. I could be wrong on that for the first one. Either way. Then we have Resident Evil 4 coming out on March 24th for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles. Looking forward to that. Not day one, but at some point in time, I would like to eventually beat that game. I had played it on, I think, the Wii of all systems back in the day. And then we have another remake or remaster, whatever you want to call it. Record of Agrest War 1 coming out in, I think it's at the end of March. I put a question mark for the actual date because I don't think we had the date at the time that I made this list. Coming out for the Switch. And what's funny is that I do have, and I don't know where it is. Is that it over there? This might be it. No, that's not it. I don't know where it is. I just recently bought Record of Agrest War. There it is. Hold on. Just bear with me for a second. I recently bought it on the Xbox 360. So I just recently bought it, and now they've kind of remade it. And I think I even talked about this when I first picked it up. And I said, they're going to remake this game or something like that. And then the next month they actually did. They announced it, and I was like, who thought that Record of Agrest War would come back? And apparently it is. And that's why I want to support it, because I do want this series to kind of continue. This is like sprite-based characters with 3D environments. It's kind of trippy and weird, but I really like it. And you have I think that there's 3, because I've played Record of Agrest War 0, also on the Xbox 360, back when that first came out years ago. So very excited for this series, strategy RPGs, and I think you go through 2 or 3 different lifetimes. So you have your main characters, whoever they hook up with, they end up having kids. Then you play as them, and then I think whoever they hook up with as well, then they end up. So you're playing this family dynasty essentially in this series, and it's strategy RPGs that I'm down with. So I'm definitely gonna pick that game up, and I'll probably play it on the Switch instead of the Xbox 360. Although the Xbox 360 gives what's it called? Achievements. I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do, but either way, that's everything that I'm looking forward to in Q1 of 2023. Let me know in the comments below what you're looking forward to the most within the first 3 months. Any of these, or did I miss anything? So thank you all for watching. You've been bearded in. Beardage.